Students, this is the best time to come to Canada. By that, in a literal sense, is that it starts from right here in your home city. The kind of research you're doing, the kind of consultant you're working with, right? The kind of programs you're looking for across the country, right? In terms of concentration, food, culture, those kinds of things. Be close to the community, the Indian community, or the specific community from your state. You're more likely going to find them in our.
Hi students, thank you for watching this podcast, and this is podcast we are building especially for Canada. Canada is a predominantly immigrant country, most welcoming country for international students. From last 20-25 years, Indian students are going there, but there are some challenges coming from last 1 or 2 years when students are thinking that Canada is not the first option. But my dear students, Canada is the only country which is built by migrants, and again this is offering most lucrative opportunities for Indian students. And this podcast, I will be sharing you something in the end, that what kind of university, what kind of programs, if you choose, then definitely you will get visa and you will be able to be a Canadian citizen also. So today we have a very special guest with us, Mr. Ralon Nazareth. He's a director of a university called Wilfrid Laurier, and we will be asking sir that what made a student success to become a Canadian citizen, what they should study, what path they should take, what mistakes they should not do. So we are listening to Ralon today, and you can also ask your queries in a comment section and we will be answering them immediately. Okay, so Ralon, thank you for being here today, and please help us to understand the new policies and new opportunities in Canada.
Thank you very much, Mr. Somesh, for welcoming me to this lovely podcast, and thank you all for tuning in today. We have a lot to cover. My name is Ralon, Director of International Recruitment at Wilfrid Laurier University. I've been with Laurier for about 5 years right now, so I've had the chance to experience the changes in policies and go through some of those experiences directly with students and families, especially from India. There have been some changes, and I have to always clarify to families, especially Mr. Somesh, when we talk about this, is that the Canadian government, and I don't speak on behalf of the Canadian government, but this is our impressions at the universities, is that the goals of these policies is really not to prevent students from coming to Canada. It's really to protect students when they come to Canada. We want to be able to offer quality programs with quality outcomes, which leads to opportunities in careers, opportunities that are in industries that are in demand for the country, and programs that are offered at good institutions with good quality facilities, safe environments, housing, accommodation, all of those supports, because an international student is no different than a guest or a tourist that comes to a new country. The country that's hosting you wants to be able to welcome you. So I want to start off, and I know we'll get into more details on policies and more details on types of programs, but I want to start off by really sending that message to everyone that's tuning in today, is that the goal is not necessarily for prevention to come to Canada, it's for protection for when you come to Canada, for the right program and the right education.
That's wonderful. So this is something very important, because when Indian students or any international students moving to any new country, so the protection of their career is most important, and that can be possible only when they choose everything right. Start with the consultant, start with the program, and start with the university. Everything should be right, then only the result will be right. So tell me, Ralon, that what are the mistakes students are doing, basically, which you are seeing, which they should not do?
Yeah, we often have this joke amongst our team that we want to take you from ABC to PhD, and what we mean by that in a literal sense is that it starts from right here in your home city. The kind of research you're doing, the kind of consultant you're working with, right? the kind of programs you're looking for. So the first piece is when you're looking for a consultant, right, is to see what the track record is, see the placements, talk to students that consultant has supported before, talk to those families as well, and make an informed decision in terms of the relationships with the universities. Check in with the university, check in with the institution, verify, right, do we work with this consultant, right? Those are some of the steps you can take from right here as an initial, before even looking into the university and programs. Take those steps first. The second piece is also recognize that your consultant is there to help you. So we often find that students will have a consultant for a very specific purpose. That purpose is to help me to apply to the university or to help me with my visa. The consultant can do a lot more than that. The consultant can actually tell you about the program, tell you about the location, tell you about the supports and all the other things, little things that matter at the age of 18 or the age of 25 or 27 or 30 that you need to know when you go to a new country. You're the customer, right? Ask the right questions, feel free to go back and forth with that consultant to make those decisions. Some of the mistakes I've seen, I wouldn't call it mistakes, maybe I'd call it missteps along the way, Mr. Somesh, that we see often with applicants is that paying attention to, when we talk about a country like Canada, it's a big country, right? It's a large country, there's lots of options, there's lots of cities, lots of communities. Research the city that you're planning to settle in. So universities, especially public universities like the one that I come from, we have a high standard of quality. So the standard of quality will always be there at any public university that you select. But the location of the university might matter to you as a student. Where is that university located? And for the program that they're offering me at that university, what are the industries in that city related to my program? Where can I have a long-term future in terms of employment, in terms of even internships from your first or second year of study, right? Those are the types of things we want to research. And in some cases, you might get some information, but those things you're researching should also be questions to your consultant, right? To get a better idea of what exactly am I going to get when I go, what's my return on investment when I go to a specific city? So we often find that students don't take the time to either do that level of research or don't take the time to ask those types of questions to their consultant. And it's very important that they do that because this is a life change. This is a huge decision. And you might have long-term plans to stay in Canada and build your life in Canada. But those first 2 to 4 years in Canada of your education will shape your life in that country or any other country that you go to. So it's so critical to do that kind of research effectively and work with your consultant in terms of institution, but more importantly, location and career opportunities in relation to industries that are in that location.
Yeah, so it is kind of some 5 or 6 C's: consultant, city, country, course, career, campus.
Absolutely. You put it beautifully, Mr. Somesh. I didn't even think that's the easy way to remember it. Absolutely. Yeah. I completely agree.
So this everything should be correct.
Correct. Yeah.
And starts with the research, and it should be students should be actually keep their eyes open and be alert, because it is about their career. It is not that the consultant's career they are building, or it is not about only to moving to a new country. It is about moving to a new country to build a career. It is not that only if you fly abroad and you have built a career. Flying abroad, then you start the building career.
The steps you take, absolutely.
Yes. So, Ralon, you tell me why the location of the university and the accreditation of the university is important.
Absolutely, yeah, and that's a great question in terms of location and accreditation or pieces like that. First thing we have to really understand is that you're spending a considerable amount of money to study at an institution, right? Whether it's a low cost or high cost institution, it's still a cost, and it's a considerable amount when you compare it to studying in India, for example, right? So that in itself, I would hope would incentivize you to really carefully pick your location and look at the accreditation of the program. So for example, our university, Mr. Somesh, we're located in the city of Waterloo. Waterloo is in the province of Ontario. We also have two other campuses in Brantford and Milton, those three cities specifically. Why does that location matter to me when I talk to students? The province of Ontario is Canada's most populous province. The most amount of people live there. One could argue, if you want to be close to the community, the Indian community or the specific community from your state, you're more likely going to find them in Ontario than across the country, right? In terms of concentration, food, culture, those kinds of things. Toronto is our largest city. That is the largest city. That's where the most amount of people live. Waterloo is about an hour away from Toronto. So the first thing we always find when students are looking for a place to live is that they want good job prospects, they want a good university, but sometimes the competition is high in certain major cities, like Toronto. The competition for good job prospects, the cost of living can be high, right? And those are things that students are often confused about. But that doesn't mean you have to go away from Ontario in that regard. Just an hour south of Toronto, there's a whole city of Waterloo that has its own ecosystem. Waterloo and Waterloo region as a whole is known as the Silicon Valley of Canada. It's where major tech companies are based. So in terms of job infrastructure, you can find that directly in Waterloo. You can still be in Southern Ontario, but you're also not far away from Toronto. So in the future, if things change and you want to move to Toronto, you want to work there, or there's a job there, those possibilities are there. And fundamentally, Mr. Somesh, outside of the university and the infrastructure and the location is networking. Networking is number one in anywhere that we live. It's getting to know people, showcasing your professional profile. Our city provides that ecosystem for you to meet those people and still be in that hub. While still getting, I wouldn't call it necessarily cheap, I would call it more affordable, right? Than say being in a place in a major city of Toronto. And still getting the chance to be in Ontario and being in a community where you will find job opportunities, where you will have that great networking, and you'll have a great university experience. The undergraduate and master's programs at our university are one of a kind. We have about 22,000 students, so it's not a small university, but in the grand scheme of things, Laurier is considered a medium-sized university. Can you imagine 22,000 students? And it's a medium-sized university, but it's a safe community. And these are some of the things that I think really matter when it comes to location and program. The other piece, Mr. Somesh, that I want to make about, you talked about accreditation, for example, and program. Look into the details of that program. If it has an accreditation, what kind of accreditation is that? Is that accreditation a global accreditation? Does that mean if I decide I'm going to move to the UAE, or I'm going to move to the States, right, or Singapore, or Hong Kong, or something like that, right? Does that accreditation from that degree go with me to wherever I'm planning on moving, right? That's a great piece. And the actual degree, what are the components of the degree? We had the chance with Mr. Somesh to visit a beautiful university that integrates internships into their degree. And it's interesting because in Canada, that is a very, very formal system of study. Many universities offer that. So look for degrees that offer practical work placements, paid work placements that are built into the degree that give you that chance to integrate into the workforce in that environment, and make your job prospects better after you graduate.
Great. So the accreditation and the location, why it is important? Very well said, because if they are studying in Waterloo, so they are getting all the advantages of a big city without spending that much which is in the big cities, other big cities. And when they are studying at Laurier, so obviously they are part of the 22,000 students community, which is large, cannot be said as a medium. Okay, and what last message you would like to say to tell to Indian students who are thinking to go abroad, and what message you would like to tell them?
This is a great question, Mr. Somesh. What would be the key message? I do want to talk about perception, right? We have a perception, I think, in India right now of Canada. Maybe that's changing a little bit, but since the visit from our Prime Minister. But the perception is it's very challenging to get a visa. It's very challenging to to go and study in that country. I kept emphasizing that the goal of our I think our programs is not prevention, but it's protection when you come to the country, and providing you a good quality program. The main message I want to highlight to students is that with all of those fears and nervousness, the reality is that you have now a situation where there's lots of great universities in Canada that are offering very good programs and very good scholarships that want to invite you to come to the country. And now the competition for those spots is even less. So I really want to emphasize to students that this is actually the best time in the past 10 years of me working at the university with international students. This is the best time to come to Canada, because you're going to get universities that have great quality programs, that have great seats for those programs. Some of those programs that might have been very competitive 5 years ago are now open for you. There's going to be excellent scholarships available as well. All the universities right now in the past 3 years, the types of scholarships that are being offered are fantastic for return on investment. And one thing has not changed in the past, even since before COVID. One thing has not changed in Canada is the policy towards students who pursue an undergraduate degree or a master's degree. You will still get a 3-year work permit. Upon graduation, you'll still have the ability to look for work that is related to your degree. And that should tell you something about the type of students that the country wants to attract in relation to careers and outcomes. So that's my key message to folks on the call today, is that on this beautiful podcast today, is that now is the best time to apply to Canada, and you'd be amazed at the kind of programs and scholarships that are available to you through our institutions. Thank you.
Wonderful, yeah. I will also like to reiterate this only, that this is the best time to go abroad and go Canada, because the competition is less, and whoever is going right now, they are able to get good scholarship and seats or their provisional admission letters from good universities also. Only thing is this, that they need to act right now. If they delay, then obviously in some time the situation will be, again the competition will increase. A lot of students are already planning to go abroad, go Canada. So this is the best time, that when you start early and you reach at your desired university and your desired program, and you can build your career in a foreign land, definitely. So we are here. You can write your comments, you can visit our centers, you can call us anytime, you can subscribe this channel for more this kind of problem solving podcast, and looking forward to help you to build your career. Thank you very much.
Thank you.